Hey girls, it's me trying to figure out why my phone won't unlock. Girl, you know my fingerprint, don't play me. She is playing me down. The ghetto. So anyway, I'm gonna give y'all this video while I wait. I got 30 minutes before I need to be where I am. So let me give y'all, what is this? Temptations. So it begins with Amara working out, and Titus loves her today. He sees her downstairs, she's working out, he's just, enamored with her beauty, he loves her, blah, blah, blah. They go back and forth and it gets on my nerves. But she asks him, where were you last night? Because I went downstairs to look for you. You wasn't in the house, you wasn't in the bed, you wasn't in the bathroom, you wasn't in the kitchen making a sandwich. Where were you? And he says, you remember how I used to, go for drives in the night in Birmingham? And she says, you remember how I used to ask you to wake me up before your drives in the night in Birmingham? And he says, you were just so precious. You were so cute that I let you rest. I let you take your rest. And she kind of just says, okay. But when he walks out of the room, she asks, why are you lying to me, Titus? And I'm like, he can't answer you if you don't ask him directly. See, I'd have been like, you lying. He had already asked her, why is she giving him interrogations and all of this? And it's like, because you're doing something shady. You're doing something shady. Let's see. Legendary Black actress Robin Givens Stephanie Carlisle Lancaster is in bed with Greg, or I think they was in couch. I don't know where they were. They were somewhere sleeping together, and Greg hears a sound, or he looks at his phone. I couldn't really gather what was going on. It was blue light, and it was a white woman coming down the hallway, and I was like, uh-oh. She looked dangerous. Dangerous. Michael Jackson. And he tells her to shut your mouth, don't make a sound. You get upstairs. Here's your clothes. Shh. Don't speak. No doubt. Where is Gwen Stefani? I hope she's doing well. Anywho, don't speak, don't say nothing, don't make your presence known in this place. Hirsch. He opens the door. The white woman comes in with her goons. They have a gun to his head and they talk about business. Honey, I don't pay attention to the white business. But I was half interested because I was like, ooh, somebody getting him together. This is fun. I still wasn't paying attention to the logistics, but I had my eyes on the white woman with the bad attitude. And they done punched him. I think they pistol whipped him a little bit. And she said something about being his cousin. And I was like, oh, so the family is dirty. Ooh, I was in. And then at some point in that conversation, she kissed that man in the mouth. And all of my interest became dis. I was further from that point disinterested. No, ma'am. No, ma'am. No, ma'am. You done kissed your cousin in the mouth. And it wasn't just a a gentle pet. It was like a we have had sex or we will have sex kiss. And I won't. You can't make me. Her name was Natasha, so I assume she'll be back because she had a name. We swoop over to Damien, and I just don't care. I don't. But in the meantime, we swoop back to Stephanie. And Stephanie is fed up with Greg Peters because he made her go upstairs and not get possibly murdered. I didn't understand, and I really didn't find myself able to care. But she's mad, and she, storms out of the apartment, and she's just upset because he didn't want his cousin to know she was up there. I don't know. Amara and Titus are at Thelma's, honey. They eating down, and can I just be honest with y'all? I know this is a safe space because it's my space. I made it. I'm going to be honest with y'all and say, as much as I love and adore Essence Atkins, and as much as I love and adore her works throughout the years, from Smart Guy to Deliver Us from Eva, to, what was it, Scary Movie? She was in Scary Movie, right? Playing Kerry Washington's character from Save the Last Dance. when was it Marlon Wayans said, knocked on the door and said, I've come to pick up my son, walks in the house, picks the baby up, puts him right down and leaves. He says, I'll be back next week to pick him up again. Essence Atkins said, he's such a good father. We love Essence, but this is where my honesty must come in. She's unbelievable as a completely down black woman to me. Now, mind you, a lot of people look at me and think, we don't know. We don't know if you're allowed to say the N-word. We're not sure. I assure you that I am allowed, and I assure you I say it daily. And it's not her looks. It's the way she enunciates her words and the way she expresses herself is very Gab Union to me on some things. You remember, I don't remember what movie it was. I think it was Daddy's Little Girls, where Gab Union said, brother. And it was just like, you seem like you need to be married to a white man, not a brother. It just, anyway, there was a moment in the scene where Jemima Rondell had said something to Amara and Titus, and Amara said, girl, you a mess. And that girl, you a mess just didn't hit. It didn't hit. It hit like a white lady trying to be black. And it's just, Amara, sweetie, I know you're AKA. I've made them AKAs. They've never said what sorority. But I know you're AKA, and I know, y'all are regal lighter than paper bag heifers. But sis, that girl, you a mess just did not hit me the way I needed it to. And if you watch the show, I admonish y'all to go back to that scene and listen to Essence Atkins say, girl, you a mess. It just didn't hit. I can't even say it like she said it because I'm black. I'm black. B-L-A-T or B-L-E-T depending. The way I just pronounced it was B-L-E-T. Black. But anyway, Thelma's daughter, honey, Jemima Rondell, comes and introduces her boyfriend, Kenneth, or Ken something, girl. Who is that? Who is she? Is that a student? I don't know her. I'd be nervous when I see, I'm at a white establishment, but it's in a black neighborhood, B-L-Y-K, because black and black are two different things, but I'll break that down in another time. Anyway, it was a white girl back there, and I get nervous, but we right across the street from the school, so white kids do go to the school. They go to the school. Anyway, look at my time. Oh, I got less than 15 minutes to wrap this up. Anyway, Jemima Rondell introduced, I'm calling her Jemima because of the way they write her character. It has nothing to do with the actress. It's the way everybody on the character has some form of polishedness. And here go Rondell giving you, honey, I made a sweet potato pie that'll make you slap your mama or your grandma or your sister-in-law. She's giving you the Popeyes lady. Honey, do we have a deal for you? Come on down, get your 5 shrimp and seven biscuits for $4.99. She gives you that. And I just, anyway, she introduces Ken, is it Kent? Councilman, to Amara and Titus, but Amara already knows him because he's a councilman. She's a district attorney, it's, hey, how y'all doing? But it was a little fever. And when Amara and Titus get up to leave, Jemima Rondell says, now what's going on with you and Amara? And he's like, oh, nothing, a little business. She gives you, Jemima again, honey, I'm a black woman. Shade detection is in my blood. I'm like, girl, sit and settle. Sit down, settle down. Reseat yourself. Let me say it for you slowly. Reseat yourself. Got to be real. Anyway, Stylist Heifer's mama wants her to marry football, but she says, Mama, me and football done broke up. And then the mama is like, what? What did you do? And she's like, why I had to do something? The mama like, because I know you heifer. What did Dionne Warwick say? I got your number, hussy. She got her number. She knows she crazy. Anyway, Stylist Heifer wants her mama to go on a date, and her mama want her to get married, and I just don't care. In the meantime, Mother Carlisle is here at Stephanie's office, and Stephanie asks for the tea on Greg. Hey, what's the tea? Greg says, not Greg, Mother Carlisle says, it's a lot of foolishness with their family. It's a lot going on, and they crappy. Crappy people. Oh, we can't do R. Kelly. That would have been a great little moment for me to sing that, write a little ditty, have a little freestyle verse. I would have loved it, but we can't do R. Kelly. I'm sorry. Rest in peace. Where am I? Oh, Stephanie tells her mother, I have Greg Peters right where I want him. She does a lot with her neck. I'm like, girl, settle down. And her mama's like, I'm sure you do. And I'm like, oop, hold detection. She's a black woman. Hold detection is in her blood. And eventually, the mama gets up and says, Stephanie, honey, if you're sleeping with the nigga, make sure you got all the power. Basically. And Stephanie looked surprised that her mama knew she was a hoe. And the mama was like, I know, because I've been there. And it's like, girl, you a hoe because your mama was a hoe. Like, no shade to Mother Carlisle. Who is this girl? Why is she creeping like that? Sis, is you gonna shoot? No, you a white lady. You ain't gonna shoot. Got to be careful out here in these streets. Anyway, Ignacio comes to the door on behalf of his mother, Valentina, who we know is Stylist Heifer's idol and the woman she's gonna work with, blah, blah, blah. He comes to the door and they're just speechless. Just, oh my God, because he's handsome. He looked like a homosexual to me, honey. His pants stopped at his calf. What is going on, girl? I hope you don't come over here to this door. I see him looking at the bike of my car. Anyway, his pants stopped nearly at his calves, honey. He looked like he ain't had no socks on, and his shirt was far too tight. And I was just like, girl, you giving me fever, in the morning. But he just so fine. The mama was there. The mama was taken by his beauty. Stylist Heifer was taken by his beauty, blah, blah, blah. But he tells Stylist Heifer that they have a provisional contract. They got a 6-week trial basis, and then we'll see where we want to go from there. And Stylist Heifer is upset. And I'm like, how do you think business works? How do you think business works? The mayor can't just make people do what he wants them to do. Y'all still have to show that you're capable of doing the work. Stylist Heifer finds herself on my nerves daily. In the meantime, Damian Collins is walking in the parking garage looking like a nipple. The man looks like a nipple. Have you ever looked at a nipple and then looked at Damian Collins? I see one every time I take a shower. I don't know what y'all do in y'all showers, but Damian Collins just looks like if I was taking a shower washing, I would look down and there he would be. Like, he just looked like a nipple to me. Anyway, he is in the parking garage. Titus rolls up on him in the parking garage, and they have a little machismo fest, honey. You might have had her once, but I got her every day, Very mocking Steph. He's mine. You may have had him once, but I got him all the time. You can't sleep at night. A little bit of that. And Amara comes running through the parking garage giving Titus. And she tells him that her boss told her that she saw her husband in the parking garage, and the boss was like, no, that's not possible because it's just not. But then she still went down to the parking garage to check, so I guess it was possible for a plain country bumpkin to become to become a prince to join in marriage, honey. It was not impossible. In the meantime, Mother Carlisle goes over to visit little Richard Lancaster and basically tells him, get Rondell, get her to give up this business. Y'all need to move. Y'all in the way. And, Evan little Richard Lancaster is like, she almost got the signatures. She wins. In the meantime, Damian Collins calls over some boys. And the boys were like, what you need us to do? And he reaches in his pocket. And they was like, none of that gay stuff. He like, no, I just want y'all to beat me up. Y'all beat me up and we'll be cool. And they like, I don't know. But then they beat him up. I already knew that he was going to ask them to beat him up. But my mama seemed surprised. And I was like, we talking about Damian Collins. He ain't got no sense. Anyway, back at Thelma's having a petition party because councilman had told her that she needs to bring the signatures to her. And I'm like, didn't y'all already do this? Didn't y'all already have a party at the function? I remember because the man had 2 sandwiches and your daddy called him greedy. Like, y'all did this. This was not a revolutionary idea. She was just astounded when he said, y'all need to bring the petition signers to y'all. Anyway, church lady is here in her hat, girl. They playing spades, having a good time, blah, blah, blah. And they signing the petition. A heifer comes by. Her name is Desiree. And she walks up and says, Kent, why haven't you, it's Kent, right? Whatever. Councilman, why haven't you been returning my text messages? And she rubbing all on him. And Rondell is upset. She walks off giving, I can't. And it's just like, girl, why are you mad? She clearly asked Councilman why he wasn't responding to her text messages, which means he ain't messing with her. She went all in her feelings and was like, if that's the kind of girl he wants, they could have each other. And it's like, but she told you out her own mouth, he ain't texting her back. Like, I'm confused. Real confused. But whatever, girl. They made it a whole big thing. I'm gonna get Jemima Rondell out the way. They made it a whole big thing, and then they came together a little later, and he said, "You're the only one I want." And she was like, "Say it again." He said it again. They went upstairs, had some sex, girl. I fast forwarded through the sex scene. I did. Stylist Heifer calls little Richard over, and under false pretenses again to see the baby, and the baby wasn't there, and she's mad because it's a provisional contract, and she says, until, we can get things together, you can't see your son. I hated it, and I didn't care. In the meantime, the police come to get Titus. He goes and spends the night in jail. I'm trying to wrap it up because I got like a couple minutes before I need to be in there. I already told y'all Rondell was in her feelings. I just told y'all Titus had to sleep over in the jail. Amara asked him, where were you when you went for your drive? He went to Birmingham to get some tea on Damien. I'm trying to figure out why he couldn't have just made a phone call. Y'all can't talk over the phone? You had to drive out. We found out that Damien loves to sleep with married hussies. And then we swoop back to Stylist Heifer. Valentina's homosexual son comes back and sees the outfits. And he's impressed. They're supposed to be silk, but not a single one of those outfits was silk. I was confused. Mother Carlisle in the next scene goes over to Stephanie's, who was wearing silk, and she looked absolutely amazing in that pink and black silk shirt with the black skirt, and the makeup and the hair was just on point. But Mother Carlisle gives Stephanie the idea to tamper with Rondell's signatures for the Saving the Banks project. So I just read my notes. I've already told y'all Rondell was acting a fool with Councilman, but I wrote in my notes, Tyler Perry, I see you for your works and your deeds, because Rondell is a very Tyler Perry character. She's very Tyler Perry. And she has that Titus syndrome where she goes back and forth in and out of love with Councilman. I didn't care for it. Anyway, a legendary Blackstress Robin giving Stephanie Carlisle Lancaster goes dressed in all black like the Omen to Peter's house, Greg Peters, to break up with him officially. And she tells him that Rondell is taken care of. In the meantime, Stylist Heifer really is Fashion Nova. She really is. But somebody has delivered a cake onto her doorstep, and the cake simply says whore in pink and white icing. And she eats it. Why would you eat a cake that you found on your doorstep that has the word whore written on it? Ma'am, it's poison. Could be. Very well could be poison. Anyway, oh, that's my girl. I better get in there. Anywho, let me see. Rondell wakes up the next morning after sleeping with the councilman, says she got the signatures and is all excited. And then all of a sudden she gets an email that says that her signatures are invalid because of some technical reason, girl. And she's disappointed. And I'm like, girl, you know who you dealing with. Anyway, girl, I got 3 minutes before I need to be in the building. So let me get in here and talk to these people about these things that ain't none of y'all's business. And I'll call y'all back for Girls Trip a little later. Peace.